It was the next day, and a bit tired. Was woken up unexpectedly, like 6:30. It's just like, oh, it's so loud. What the heck's going on? I can't figure it out. But I mean, I didn't want to figure it out because like it's early. I don't care. Stayed up late, and you can hear it now probably. Check this out. So that's why I got woken up right there. The vegetable market is right in front of the hotel. Okay, I suppose that's one way to do it. Before setting off, I did make sure to take a little time to enjoy the scenery and clean air. You know, it can be quite hard to come by sometimes. We left the hotel, sat down, and had a little breakfast, which actually wasn't bad. After breakfast, we took a car out towards the Coffins. At 3 kilometers away, it's not that far, but we were on a schedule. While looking at the beautiful scene around us, we were interrupted when I saw the first coffins. They were just right there, overlooking the road, overlooking the village, right out there in the open.
Yeah, they're there.
Quick recommendation, you could actually totally walk from the village right there. Just something you can take from us. Just walk there. And there are actually a couple outside of the scenic area that you can actually see from the road right there. It's only 20 kwai to get in, so not too expensive. And just like that, you're there. You come past a rock face and you look on your left and they're right there above you, looking down on you. There's a little stairway that leads up to this higher vantage point, but take your time looking up and just appreciate that monumentous effort that it must have taken the Boer people to bury their dead in that way. Like, it's just inaccessible from many places. It's anywhere from 10 to 130 meters off the ground. Like, the higher the coffin, the more auspicious it was considered back then. Like, in the past, there were about 300 coffins hung in this way in this place. But now there's about 40 or 50 or so. And there's a few more resting on this little shelf in the cliffside just outside the area. Yeah, and each one of these is carved out of a single tree trunk.
And dead people. And we know nothing else about them. We don't remember a single thing. All I can remember is
unwritten history. Yeah. It's wild, man.
No other monuments.
Just this. It's thought that the Boer people did this to prevent animals from desecrating the remains of the deceased, as well as imparting an eternal blessing on the soul. It's also possible that they thought they'd be within easy reach of the gods if they were buried up there. But the thing is, we don't really know. I mean, these are just educated guesses. Each coffin was carved out of a single tree trunk. And let me tell you, this is kind of hard to believe because we hardly saw a single tree that could come even close to that size, which tells me they looked around for those tree trunks. These burials were significant, and they weren't done for trivial reasons. It was a big deal. One thing that really blows me away is, I've been to a lot of places in China that are really unique and can't be found really anywhere else in the world, and some that pretty few people have been to. And this is one of them. But something I've noticed about that is that among those places, those people have gone to great lengths and through great effort have put them far away from people, put them really far away from people in some cases. But here it was different. These villages where people live now, and people have been there for a long time, maybe to an extent always have been. And like nowadays, to get from one village to another, you have to pass the hanging coffins. You have to. It's not an option. So if you're shuttling back and forth like materials for building or bringing in vegetables or going to buy something in the bigger village up the road, like you got to pass them. So like these people, when they're out doing that or they're out tending to their fields and all of that kind of thing, they see these things every day. Like, it's a part of their daily life. They're literally living in the shadow of this history. And it's not even, quote unquote, their history. This is history. This is the history of a people that came long before them and died before they were even here. And it's That's wild to think about. And the fact that they don't even know anything about that culture, that makes it even wilder to think about. And I don't really know what to do with that. I'm still kind of processing that. And that really made the trip worth it for me. That 9 hours of travel, trying to fiddle with all this passport stuff in this little village, trying to find a place to stay and all these things. Like it was a lot of hassle, but that unique place, yeah, I'm still trying to process it. And it is a great example of why you should travel. Go out and see places you never would have seen otherwise, experience things you never would have experienced otherwise, and have something new to think about. Think about things that you never thought before. It's a great example of why you should travel more and why I should travel more. I haven't traveled much since I moved to Sichuan, and I'd like to change that. So I think I'm going to leave that there. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.